Hey, welcome to the review, round 23, 2025 AFL season, as Carlton demolish a team. 18 goals, 10, 118. Played 9 goals, 10, 64. We absolutely beat up on the Port Adelaide Power. A 90-plus point turnaround from not that long ago. We only played them in Adelaide a couple of months ago. And it was pretty much a carbon copy, but in the opposite. So I'm filming this night of game. Fan cams finished early. Well, game started early. Fan cams finished early. So get the review done and away we go. I got to say, I had the funnest, most peaceful time at the footy, maybe of the year. Like early in the season, there's still you start in the whole 0-4, so everything after that was playing catch up. But it never really felt peaceful because we hadn't qualified for finals. And then obviously the season's died off. There's no finals. And so now it's, all right, cool. Now we're, eyes to the future, play the kids. But you still want to see them perform strongly. And so, yeah, I just thoroughly enjoyed everything today. I mean, kicked the 4 or 5 of the first 5 goals or 6 goals, whatever it was. Absolutely dominant from the start. But I actually want to go back just one step. So this week, I think, has been really different and really interesting. I don't know if it's linked, and I don't know if this is relative to your experience at home. But Thursday night, I went to the AFLW and just had a blast. Like, at Icon Park, navy blue everywhere, good vibes, up and about, the McKay sisters doing their thing, Andy McKay in attendance right there. And I just felt good, like just positive energy coming from the Carlton Football Club. And it's been one of those years where it seems that so much has just taken its toll in a disappointing way. Whether we go as early as, January, and then the injuries, and then the 0-4 start, like all of it, it's just sort of added, and it's just sort of compounded. And we've gone through this really interesting wave of negativity and disappointment. And then it's just sort of like all had to reset at some point. We also got, official clarity around the CEO and what he's going to do. So we know that the coach is staying. We know that the head of football is going. And even just hearing Graham Wright speak, and I don't know, I still remember when Brian Cook took over, he spoke pretty clearly. He didn't give speeches with fancy words. He's a sort of pretty clear talker, no nonsense type operator, keeps it pretty simple. But Graham Wright, just this breath of fresh air, and the sweeping change that is coming, and to have a few pieces of the puzzle a bit more clearer moving forward, and all of a sudden it starts linking up. You start having Harry Mackay come out and saying that, no, like I've signed a long-term contract, I'm staying, like I don't want to be anywhere else, and you just sort of get a little bit more certainty around that. Sam Walsh played, and he played brilliantly, and that was a really interesting discussion as well. Like I think we're just so used to being disappointed that there was almost a little bit of rhetoric around like, why would you play Sam Walsh instead of a kid or Will White? It's like, mate, what do you mean? And then you watch Sam Walsh play, and then you remember why you miss Sam Walsh and what he is. And then after the game, there was just a little excerpt where he just laid it out there, Sam Walsh, and said, we're having a no bullshit mentality. And all of a sudden you're like, well, hang on a minute. Like, what, we talk like that? Did we just grow up? So there was a real interesting experience today. And look, it was a really dominant performance, and it was a really even performance from an even spread of contributors. There are guys, sort of at the top end who are more household names like Sam Walsh, who played 66% of the game. But, when he played, I was there on the wing today, sort of behind the benches, and I'm watching him play, and I'm watching him with ball in hand. And I'm just watching all this rhetoric around the league over the last little bit of time. You have the plays in the spotlight being the Clayton Olivers and the Patrick Crippses, and then they start talking about the modern player and the modern game and the modern prototype player. And, you're talking about Wanganeen Miller and Max Holmes and Jordan Dawson and Bailey Smith. And then, the guys that can run and carry and kick in space. And then I'm watching Sam Walsh, ball in hand, run and carry, change direction while everyone else is facing one way, and he's changing everything further afield the other way. And I'm like, oh, we've had it. It's just been injured. Just been out of form or injured, and we haven't seen him for 10 weeks. And you just get reminded of certain things. And then all of a sudden, Harry Mackay starts dominating, or like having the appetite for the dominance. And you start thinking, well, okay, he's third or fourth game back. First game, rusty. Second game, a little bit better, 10 tackles. Third game, 3 goals straight, but, bit better, more well-rounded. And then this one, you think, oh, wow, continuity, and then wanted to dominate. He's played against, if you look at round one, he had a younger opponent on him and didn't have that want to dominate. Whereas today, he had a younger at times or an inexperienced at times player on him, or in moments, and wanted to dominate and wanted the responsibility. And he's kicked 7 goals straight. So you give credit there. And then you see the sprinklings of the growth. The Lockie Cowans who, talk about McGovern throughout the week, the contract, the trigger, and is he going to stay? Is he going to go? And then you're watching Lockie Cowan just take that role on the right halfback flank, intercepting, 10 marks, patrolling. You're like, oh. And so, little bits and pieces start coming together. And I think winning's important. Winning breeds winning. I think that's how I see it. And that's why I think it's so important to see wins. I know that we're not playing for finals, but we are playing now for the next wave of this group. And I'd be really interested to get your thoughts on this whole clarity situation with the club. I've just finished the fan camp, so I was talking about it with people just now. So I believe, whether you agree or disagree with Graham Wright's moves. So he's obviously only announced 2. One, that we're going to back in Michael Voss, and then number 2, that we're going to move away from Brad Lloyd and replace the head of football. There's going to be more changes to come to the department potentially and to the playing list. But I think it's the uncertainty of the situation that had supporters thinking a certain way. I know I was. I've been thinking for months now, are we going to stick with Voss or are we not? De Koning, Silvani, McGovern. And then I think about it from a playing point of view. Ever since the Voss backing, there's definitely been a better sense of relaxation in the mind from the playing group. And I think it's translated in their performances. Like we won today, great. But even prior to today, like last week, they've just shown better patches of being together, I think, as a group. That's something I've noticed. And that's honestly all you can really hope for. Like today, Port, the story was that, Port were battered and bruised and didn't have anything anywhere near their best side out. Well, so did we. Like Sam Walsh had come in, but we're missing a lot of the players that would be playing as well. But I didn't really feel like, I know Harry's kicked 7 and he's been the dominant forward on the day, but it really did feel like a well-rounded effort. So I don't know, I just thoroughly enjoyed the football today for a change. And there was no, pressure and angst, and I wasn't rocking in my chair. I didn't tie myself so much to what was happening, and maybe I finally just let go. Because I've just been so highly strung. And so it was good to just release today and just smile and just laugh and just enjoy the footy and have a fucking meat pie, and just talk some shit and have a laugh and call the umpire an idiot when he made a terrible decision. Although, to be fair to the umpires, I thought they were much better today. But sometimes you just want to get some of that energy out, and you want to call it umpiring decision bullshit. But yeah, that's actually not fair, because the umpiring I thought was better. More so from the fact that, a week ago I was talking about how involved the umpires were. I thought the umpires just let the game flow a little bit. And the other point I noticed today was the ball movement. There was a concerted effort where they could to change the angle. Like they'd start on one, like sort of like the right back half, the right half-back flank, and they would end the play on the left half-forward flank, or the right half-forward flank, sort of like the opposite, the diagonal. And there was a real concerted effort to do that, change the angle before kicking the ball inside 50. And yeah, I don't know if that's what the game plan is going to look like next year, if that's the little tinkering, but yeah, it was good. And it was good to see them play the way that they did and play freely and get around it. Overall, it's been a good week. yeah, this was one of the more positive weeks of the season, and hopefully there's more to come. So, yeah, that's what I noticed. Disappointing that Cooper Lord got the head knock. Vossi confirmed that he won't play next week, which is a shame because I want to see him play as many games as possible. But if that's the end of his season, then he's had a really good one, and pretty quickly we'll start talking about Essendon, and then pretty quickly we'll start talking about off season and changes. And so I'm very mindful of just staying present. I think in my experience, a lot of this year has been, where we should be or how we should have been or what should have happened or, how they should have performed or where we are, where we used to be. Oh, round 17 last year, what happened, or premiership team and what they used to do and what we need to be. And today, for the first time, I just embraced the moment and enjoyed the moment. And I actually enjoyed myself a lot. Helps that we won, helps that we were dominant. And so that's the little sprinkling of footy and what it can do. So that's my summary. It was a good day. Round 23, 2025. We've got a game in 5 days' time against the Bombers, and we'll go from there. What did you take away from today? What were the themes that you wanted to bring up around round 23? Share with us in the comments below your experience, and we'll go from there. Go Blues!